She can be invaluable to us in rooting out the last remnants of these criminals. I think the best plan is for me to go directly to the Reich Museum alone, while you deal with her.
I'm sorry, Herr Doctor. I'm not clear what you want me to do.
Do? My dear Lieutenant, she is a traitor, suspected of links to the Resistance. I want you to arrest her and interrogate her.
I'm ready.
You don't even know what I've come for yet, you filthy Jew sympathizer.
Surely I'm ready to whatever you want me to do.
Scum! You'd better be. Some bigwig from HQ wants to consult the military archives. Heaven help you for keeping him waiting. Now go!
Yes, sir.
You are late, you stupid old swine. The Herr Doctor has been kept waiting.
You!
Herr Doctor?
Did I request you to speak?
No, but...
Then do not speak. Get in the car and wait until I return. There is no problem, good sir. We arrived virtually together and there will be no complaint.
Oh, you're very kind, Herr Doctor. I should not like to lose my privilege of working in a museum, if you disclose it. If you follow me, this room here, the records are in order, beginning of this cabinet. Is there anything else I can do?
Thank you. No, you've been very kind. It began in 1939. Adolf Hitler had invaded Poland, so on and so forth. Hitler was quite sure the British would never go to war over Poland, and in September 1939, the war began. Hitler sped across Europe, and the British and French were driven back by the Blitzkrieg. History as I knew it, but where and why did things change?
How much longer must I wait?
I shall decide that.
You heard Herr Doctor's orders. I was to be arrested, held for a while, and then released with the other prisoners so that I could make contact with the resistance.
Maybe I should give you the full treatment. I could start by having you flogged. The water treatment is also very successful. Or the merry-go-round. Hung by the wrists and spun gently. The effects can be a bit permanent, I'm afraid. Even the simple cigarette, properly applied.
Listen to me, you sadistic creep. This is all a pretense. I'm not a real prisoner.
Yes, of course. Such a pity. Another time, perhaps.
That's more like it. I can see that you're in love with your work, but don't get carried away.
But I don't think we can have you coming out of an interrogation completely unmarked.
The interview. How did it go?
The usual impatience. Even Rome was not built in a day. But try telling that to the Fuhrer. He became angry.
It is as I feared. There was another outburst.
I'm afraid so. The doctors had to be summoned and I left.
It's getting worse. The constant driving forward. The sudden rages. Winning the war should have given him peace. He seems more driven than ever. I think he'll burn himself out.
I noticed something in his eyes. Something trapped, frustrated, and raging. I don't think it was quite human.
Tanks rolling on Dunkirk. Göring's Luftwaffe triumphing in the Battle of Britain. Freak storms that sunk the British Navy, and good weather while Hitler crossed the Channel. Unopposed landings in Britain. You!
Welcome, Doctor. I hope we would meet again.
Phantom of the mind! Begone! I was wrong. Quite wrong. It is the Timewyrm after all.
What's going on? I thought they were letting us go.
They are, love. Leastways, I hope so.
So why don't they just let us out?
In a posh place like that, they don't want the likes of us mucking the place up. Human litter, that's all we are. So they takes us and dumps us where nobody minds. Silence. No talking in the truck.
So what did you do?
They said I'd one too many and fell out with some of them Free Corp lads. Get a move on, we haven't got all day. You, maybe you should go back for another dose.
Now, I wouldn't hang about, Sonny, not if I was you. Your lot ain't too popular around here. They tend to disappear.
You know what'll happen to this place if anyone touches us.
Oh, I know, all right. Shoot a few hostages, blow up a building or two. We've seen it all before. Only it wouldn't do you much good. I mean, you wouldn't be here to see any of it. Frycorp pipsqueaks.
Thanks. I'm looking for a place called Ma Barker's Caff.
Where'd you hear about that?
It was recommended to me and a friend of mine. An old man said they did really good cuppa.
Old man? What old man? What was his name?
I don't know. He was white-haired and very tall. He said to say Pop sent us.
Oh, well, then that's all right. Now you come with me, love, and I'll show you. It's not that far from here, and it's on me way.
Her doctor. Her doctor. Are you alright?
I'm fine. Never better.
I heard a noise. I came to see what was happening, and I found you lying here in this rubble. What happened?
Something very strange indeed.
Were you attacked?
I suppose I was, in a way.
Oh, I assure you, all the doors were secret. No unauthorized person could have got in.
I think it's more a matter of an unauthorized ghost. Whatever happened, it certainly wasn't your fault. You've been most helpful, and I shall inform my superiors. Now, let's get this place sorted out.
No, please, allow me, Herr Doctor.
No, I insist. It's all my fault in a way. I'm sorry things have been so hard for you. We must hope for better times. Free Corps HQ. May I ask if Herr Doctor had a successful morning? You may not, unless you wish to find yourself explaining to the Gestapo the reasons why your curiosity about matters which do not concern you.
Ah, Herr Doctor. I'm just off on my tour to the festival. Unless, of course, there's any reason...
By all means, continue.
Your investigation progresses.
I am on the trail. Where is Lieutenant Hemmings? I am hoping you will have news of my assistant.
I've just missed him, Herr Doctor. Just a short time ago, he took a squad to raid a suspected center of resistance activities. A place known, I understand, as Marbarkas Kaff.
Here we are, love.
Proprietor. H. Barker?
The H was me, Ari. Captured with the rest of Dunkirk. Never saw him again. I keep this place going just in case. Now come on inside.
Let you out, have they?
Oh, just the old routine checkup nonsense. Round up the usual suspects. Don't know why they bother.
Hang on a minute. You're Mar Barker and this is your cafe?
That's right, love.
You own the place I was looking for and we just happened to finish up on the same truck.
Well, life's full of little coincidences, Ducky.
Yeah, well, this little coincidence is too big for me. I think I'll just leave.
Oh, I don't think you can do that, Ducky. Not until we've had a nice little chat. Can she, Pop?
I'm afraid it's out of the question, my dear young lady.
Get the young lady a nice cuppa, Pop. One for me and you as well.
Best tea I've had in ages.
Anything for sandwiches?
Got some real butter and a nice bit of ham under the counter.
Lovely. Now then, Ducky, who are you and what do you want here?
He asked me here, at the festival. You were painting railings that you didn't need painting.
Well, I asked your friend, didn't I? Little fella in that funny hat. What happened to him?
He's busy. That's why he sent me instead.
Ah, but to do what?
Just talk to them, Ace. Just say we've come to help, see if you can find any suggestion of alien interference, anything the taste of Timewyrm, and don't give them any Nitro 9.
The doctor and I come from a place far away. Don't ask me where, I can't tell you.
America? That blue box was never made in this country.
Canada? The government in exile.
Never mind. Believe me, you don't need to know, and what you don't know, they can't make you tell. We've come here to see if we can help you, but to do that we need to know what things have been going on here since the war. I'm not asking for any secrets, alright? I don't want to know anything the Nazis don't already know. No names, no places. I just want to know all the everyday stuff about what's been going on since the war.
Don't see the harm in it.
May as well go along with it, for the time being anyway.
After the lightning invasion, the German troops in Whitehall before anyone realised what was happening.
Soon after they signed the Anglo-German Treaty, just another name for surrender, that was.
Then they put him back on the throne. And her, that American birdie ran off with, Queen Wallis.
Go on, what happened after that?
There had been instant arrest for anyone reckoned a potential danger to the Reich. They'd got blacklists already. They made a pretty clean sweep. civil servants, ex-officers, trade unionists, lawyers, any MPs who didn't get away.
And I don't have to tell you what happened to the Jews and the gypsies and the invalids and anyone else they thought was useless.
Next came the mass deportations.
The voluntary labour force. Voluntary, that's a laugh.
Every able-bodied male between 17 and 45 was just scooped up and taken away.
What happened to them?
Sent to the continent. Slave labour. They're strengthening Fortress Europe, helping to build New Berlin in Paris. Pretty well worked to death, so I hear. Anyway, no one ever comes back.
Women too, but only the blue-eyed blondes though. Sent to raise centres to have kids by those SS bastards. The idea is to educate the kids in Germany and then send them back here when they've grown into good little Nazis.
Just about anything of value was shipped back to Germany. They've left a poor and empty country full of old people. Soon as they've killed us off, they'll colonize the place with nice, pure blood Aryans. The English people will have ceased to exist.
What about you lot then? You seem to be keeping your end up.
We do what we can, Ducky. A bit of thieving, a bit of sabotage.
Bit of knocking off Nazi officials and chucking them in the river.
We get a tip that some Nazi bigwig was coming over to tighten things up. It seemed a good idea to discourage him.
You mean murder him?
It's not murder. It's just war.
But you're a civilian.
On the contrary, I'm a major in the British Army. I was one of the Colonel Gibbon's auxiliary units, ordered to go underground after the invasion. I will never surrender. As far as I'm concerned, the war is still on.
Did anything unusual happen during the invasion?
Not that I can think of. There was a battle and we lost. After France was captured, we'd got particularly nothing left to fight them with.
And there was nothing else?
I'm not really sure what you're getting at.
Neither am I. It's just I was specifically told to ask about anything weird or offbeat.
What about all that black magic stuff?
What a superstitious nonsense.
Tell me.
Around the time of the invasion, some people were saying Hitler couldn't lose because the devil was on his side. He was supposed to have these black magicians working for him. They caused all the freak storms that wrecked the Navy and fixed the fine weather for the invasions, put jinx on our leaders, stuff like that. They were called the Black Coven.
Lot of silly rumours soon died out, didn't they?
Only because they made sure they did.
Who made sure?
Oh, them nasties. Any mention of the Black Coven was subversive talk, punishable by death. They're supposed to be in Germany still, helping old Hitler, telling him how to conquer the world. They live in this great castle somewhere, and they have evil rituals and human sacrifices. Only like Pop says, we're not supposed to know about it, and we ain't allowed to talk about it.
Don't a bunch of mumbo-jumbo chaps in the black hood stealing all the credit. Mind you, they always were a superstitious lot. Hitler's had his own astrologer for years, and apparently Hitler's right about the bend.
It's all right. It's only Arnie.
I came to warn you. There's a big free cops operation planned for this area. What's she doing here?
It's a long story.
It'll be a bloody short one if you don't get rid of her. She's with the free cop. I saw her and her friend just yesterday, running around with one of those limousines.
How did you come to bring her here?
She's on the release truck with me. The bruise is genuine enough. The old beaten up prisoner trick, and I fell for it.
She's a plant, all right. I'd slit her throat right now, if I were you.
Hang on a minute. I'm not the one who's working with the Three Corps. You are. This is the man who turned us in, me and the doctor. He heard us talking in one of those pavilions and shopped us for the sake of the reward.
Well, Arnie?
Right, what if I did? Look, you know the position I'm in. I keep in with the free cops and the occupation authorities so I can let you know what's going on. Warn you about raids, things like that. The way I just did now. So if I'm going to keep in with them, I have to give them something from time to time. Bits of useless information, reports on what you're not going to do. It all helps us tie them up watching the wrong targets. And if somebody's a real traitor, well, maybe I plant a bit of evidence and inform on them.
True enough, Ducky. But it all has to be cleared with us first, doesn't it? Every scrap of info you give 'em, every poor soul you turn in, we're supposed to know about it first. Now, I don't recall giving the okay on shopping this young lady and her mate. Do you, Pop?
No, I don't, Ma.
So I used my initiative.
You start shopping people freelance like you might get a taste for it.
You might start thinking about me and Ma. Thinking of how much you could tell them about us and how well they'd pay you for it.
Listen, I heard those two shouting their mouths off. Dangerous to themselves and everyone else, so I thought.
So you thought about the nice big reward? Don't you realise we came to help you?
Help us? You? That funny little bloke wasn't scared a bit when you pulled him in. He just took charge of everything. Soon after that, he's running around in a free court limo, and she was with him.
Alright, that bit's true, but I can explain.
It'll need to be good, Ducky.
You know the bloke who had the nasty accident when we first arrived? Well, we reached him. He gave us a black folder with a gold swastika badge inside. It said he was some kind of inspector, only in German.
Reich Inspector General, Hitler's personal investigator. Go anywhere, see anyone, do anything. No questions asked. We caught a big one, all right?
Right, well, when we got picked, the doctor used that badge and convinced them he was this Reich Smith gummy.
He'd never get away with it.
You don't know the doctor. He's got the cheek of the devil. Sometimes I think he is the devil.
You don't mean it worked?
Like a charm. We've been staying at the HQ with the Free Corps, jumping whenever the doctor opens his mouth.
Then how come you ended up with me on that truck?
We're supposed to be making some investigation into the resistance movement, right? So the doctor spun them a yarn about how I was being forced to help trap you so I could use it as a cover to find and help out. I know it sounds daft, but it makes a sort of sense if you work it out.
You're saying you're acting as a double agent?
That's it exactly.
Don't like double agents. They get confused, forget which side they're really on.
Like Arnie here.
What do you reckon, Ma? Even we let them both go?
Or we kill them both?
Might be safer.
Suppose better safe than sorry. Pity. She seemed like a nice kid, really.
I shall miss you, Arnie, old chap. No hard feelings, hey?
It's too late for all of us now. I told you there was something going on around here. It's a raid.
This is the field unit of the British Free Corps. The area is surrounded. Do not move from where you are. Do not attempt to escape.
I'll fancy a cup of char and a waltz, sir. It's only the ersatz corned beef, but you can put plenty of mustard on it. That's ersatz as well, of course.
Papers?
Don't bother. These ladies and gentlemen will be accompanying us back to headquarters.
I don't know what you think you're up to.
Then let me tell you. I put you on a truck with someone suspected of resistance activities, and I put one of my men on board as well. He sees you make contact with the suspect and accompany her to her lair, shall we say. Then I find you consorting with suspicious characters. A pleasure to meet you at last, Major Popwell. You're one of Colonel Gubbin's stalwarts, I believe. Your long run is over.
Don't know what you mean, Gov.
Listen, you wit. I'm supposed to contact the resistance. That was the whole point of this morning's charade. And it worked too. I was on the way to gaining in their trust till you turned up.
But there's the cunning of it. You were making contact with the resistance under the cover of making contact with the resistance. The classic double bluff. Brilliant.
Rubbish. You have no proof.
I shall have a signed confession from all of you.
Oh, I wouldn't bank on it, Dux.
Everyone confesses. And if you don't, there's always Mr. Arnold. The promise of immunity is very tempting.
Look, you know who the doctor really is.
I know what he is. He's a fake. I feel it in my guts.
What guts?
You really do ask for it, don't you? Don't worry. I can provide you all the pain you need.
Any chance of a cup of tea and a currant bun?
Splendid. A clean sweep.
Ah, but who is the sweeper and who the swept? How did the poet put it? If the red slayer thinks he slays, or if he thinks that he be slain, he knows not well the subtle ways. I touch the pass and touch again, something like that anyway. Time for another spin of the wheel, I think. Come in, General!
General Stazza!
General, I regret to say that, through a combination of malignance and stupidity, this officer has come close to ruining a most delicate and vital operation, essential to the security of the Reich.
I'm distressed, Herr Doctor. If there's anything I can do...
There is. If he can be arrested and held incommunicado, the situation may yet be saved.
Of course. Nothing can be simpler. Men...
My general...
I do not think I gave you permission to speak. Would it assist the security of your operation, Herr Doctor, if this unfortunate officer were to hang himself in his cell? Better yet, he could be shot trying to escape. Here and now, if you wish.
Perhaps not. It is possible his conduct has been overzealous rather than treasonable. With your permission, I will conduct a full inquiry when time permits.
Of course. He shall be held at your disposal. And these others?
The nucleus of a resistance cell, located by my assistant here and turned.
Incredible. And less than 1 day.
In due time they will lead us to their colleagues, all their colleagues. But for the moment they must have complete freedom of action, from surveillance even, if their fellow conspirators even suspect.
Say no more, Herr Doctor. I shall leave them entirely to you. A most charming little hostelry.
Care for a nice cuppa, General? Or a nice slice of Airset corned beef?
Thank you, no. Some other time, perhaps. If you will forgive me, Herr Doctor.
Of course. So, what about that cuppa then? And is there any danger of any food? I'm so hungry I could even tackle Airset's corned beef.
Real ham for you, Doctor. All you can eat.
Gets a Fry Court lieutenant arrested, shops us to the Gestapo and gets us right off the hook all in one breath? You're quite right, Ducks. He's got the cheek of the devil.
You've got to admit it, the view's better here than in the bathroom. Will they be alright?
Who?
Pop, Ma Barker, even that little rat Arnold.
And they should be. They'll have to give up the calf, of course, find new identities and a new HQ, but they're used to that. With any luck, no one should bother them for quite some time.
That was quite a good offer old Strasser made about Hemmings. You should have taken him up on it.
I was tempted, especially after I saw your face. Good grief, what am I saying? It's quite true, you know. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We've got to get away from this place. Talking murder because someone punched you on the nose.
Can't be too soon for me.
How does it feel? The nose, I mean.
Not too bad. Are we leaving straight away?
Pretty soon. I don't think there's much more to be learned here.
Was it any use? That stuff I got from Ma and Pop?
Routine horrors, I'm afraid. Those plans were made in your time stream. The most interesting bit was all that black magic stuff.
How come?
Well, it's always been a bit of a mystery to me. How the Nazi Party came to power in the first place.
What's so mysterious about it? They were just ordinary politicians, weren't they?
Have you any idea what they were like when they started out? A broken-down, drug-addicted ex-pilot, a failed chicken farmer, an unsuccessful snob of a champagne salesman with a fake title, and a ratty little lecher embittered by a club foot. Total deadbeats led by a paranoid failed art student.
Like I said, politicians.
Amazingly successful ones. 1 minute they're only one jump ahead of the law, next they're running the country, and before you know it, they're in control of half the world. I always thought they might have had a bit of help somewhere.
Magic help?
Something disguised as magic. They're a superstitious lot.
So we're going to Germany?
Yes, but to pre-war Germany, where it all began.
Why?
Because it's easier to pluck up a seedling than tear down a tree. But first I must see Hemmings.
Forget it. I expect he's been shot or left to rot. All right, where do we meet?
At the TARDIS, of course. Strasser thinks it's full of top-secret equipment and was happy to let me take charge of it.
Where is it now?
Down below in a locked storeroom to which I alone have the key.
All right, just don't give Hemmings my best.
Wait outside, please. Are you sure? This man is a dangerous traitor and criminal. Out! Noughts and crosses is a good way to pass the time if you have a pencil and someone to play with.
You devil, you cunning little devil!
Cunning? I have to be sometimes, and as for little, these things are relative, you know. I was once in great danger of being washed down the plug hole, but devil, we make our own devils and our own hell.
Well, you put me in this one.
If I put you here, who put you in that uniform?
I was 13 when England lost the war. What was I supposed to do? Wait till I grew old enough to be deported as labor? I soon saw there were winners and losers in the world, and I decided to join the winners.
And it all ends here.
Only because of you. Grant a condemned man his last wish. I was right, wasn't I? You are a fake.
I'm certainly not the Reich Inspector General. Perhaps he'll float all the way to Germany.
You killed him?
Somebody did. I took his place. Enough about me, though. Let's talk about you. I could help you avoid the funeral in your future.
Why?
It's not a matter of why, but how. I'll give you a good start and tell Strasser when you're well away. I shall also tell him you are dangerous and must be shot on sight. Obviously, you will have overpowered the guard. I wasn't even there. And I will induce short-term amnesia. Shall we?
Wait, Hemmings!
I've gotta hide. Who's that in there? Who? What are you?
Oh, where did he get to?
Leaving so soon, Doctor.
How did you know?
The river gave up its dead. There were other papers on the body. I had microphones installed on the balcony to make sure.
Very thorough. I will be shot while trying to escape, of course.
I'm afraid so. Would you run a little, for the look of the thing?
I don't think I'll bother.
Goodbye, then, Doctor.
Get down, Professor!
He's dead, Ace!
No time for that.
We overshot a little the last time. We need to go back.
How far back?
Well, that's just the trouble. Another miscalculation like that and we could end up arguing with Attila the Hun. I thought you'd given up, Nitro 9.
Well, you know how it is, Professor.
Do I?
I was pottering about in the TARDIS lab, just doodling really. A pinch of this, a few grams of that, and before I knew it...
Nitro 9.
New and improved with the added pizzazz, concentrated in these 3 marbles.
Well, put them away and wrap them up in your hanky or something.
Yeah, sure thing.
And by the way, thanks.
My pleasure. And, Professor? I didn't tell you.
Tell me what?
Well, there was this other TARDIS dematerializing in one of the corridors.
What? Are you sure?
Dunno, I thought I saw a flash of blue and heard the sound, but when I went to look there was nothing there. For a minute I thought you'd left without me.
Well, nothing we can do about it now. And with that, we should be tracking the Timewyrm via the TARDIS pod she took with her in that last encounter. Ah, I believe we are arriving.
There is a vase which for thousands of years has not possessed a state of its own, but has spread over all the world. They have conquered the money markets. I say these Jews must be swept away.
Did you hear what he said?
Follow me. Follow me and these evils shall be swept away, and Germany will be great once more. Germany awake to the War Office.
What's happening? What's he doing?
Seizing power. Or trying to, at least.
Is he gonna make it?
We'll come and see. That square's called the Odeonplatz. They have to cross it to seize the War Ministry on the other side.
But the cops won't let him.
Not if they can help it. Their problem is they don't want to open fire in case they hear General Ludendorff. He's a public hero who doesn't know what's going on. Halt! Halt and turn back! Up here, Ace! Watch from up here! There goes old Goring. Ah, here's our man.
Is he wounded? Seriously, I hope.
Oh, just bashed about a bit. Come on.
What are you doing, Professor?
Helping someone who's hurt. Come on. Let's get him into this doorway. Are you wounded?
My shoulder. I fell.
Thought so. Left shoulder dislocated. Not serious, but agonizingly painful.
Good.
Are you a doctor?
You might say I'm the doctor. I've reset your shoulder for you. A bit rough and ready, but it'll have to do.
I have friends nearby. Another doctor, waiting in case of trouble. There is a yellow Fiat, parked in the Max Joe's flat.
Then we'd better get you there. Walk as steadily as you can. Look like an innocent bystander.
As your party members?
Not on your...
No, you could say we're observers. What's the matter?
I have these dizzy spells. This strain.
Listen to me. You will not only fall. One day you will rule Germany. Not for many years, but it will come. When it does, we shall meet again. Just remember me.
I shall always remember you, Doctor. You have given me new hope. If those hopes are fulfilled, you shall have any reward that is in my power. Goodbye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Adolf.
No! And just what do you think you're doing?
You heard that racist filth he was spouting just now. I thought we were here to change history.
Only as much as we absolutely have to. You don't start by sawing its head off.
But history would be better.
How can you be sure?
Well, it stands to reason.
Does it? Hitler was an incompetent madman, and killing him would allow a competent madman to take charge.
All right, Doctor. You win.
No, Doctor. You lose.
Come on, Ace. Back to the TARDIS, while some of Munich is still standing. Hand it over.
But it's my last one.
Hand it over.
Oh, all right.
Now, we know Adolf did escape with a dislocated shoulder, was arrested and jailed for 5 years, wrote Mein Kampf, and seized power after another 10 years.
And you think he had help?
I'm certain of it. From someone with an energy weapon. Someone who knows me and knew I was coming.
What about the Timewyrm?
What indeed? According to this, she's not far away, and we have landed again. Shall we go?
Must we?
I'm afraid so. Unfortunately, those were the innocent days. After that, it got quite nasty.
What's the matter, Professor?
That was the first time I'd ever met Adolf, but when he had that minor fit, I felt I already knew him. Odd, really. Anyway, it should be a quiet night outside.